There's a woman in Sardinia who just turned 97, and she credits her longevity to something so simple, you probably have it sitting in your kitchen right now. But before I tell you what it is, let me ask you this. What if the secret to adding years to your life isn't found in expensive supplements or complicated diets, but in 5 humble foods that have been quietly extending human lifespans for centuries? You're about to discover the 5 most powerful longevity foods on Earth. Not superfoods marketed by influencers, but foods that scientists have studied in the world's longest living populations. Foods that don't just help you live longer, but help you live better. And here's what might surprise you most. You've probably been overlooking them your entire life. The first food is so common, so unremarkable, that most people walk past it in the grocery store without a second thought. Yet this single ingredient appears in the daily diet of nearly every centenarian community on Earth. From the hills of Crete to the mountains of Costa Rica, this food shows up on tables where people routinely live past 100. What is it? Beans. I know what you're thinking. Beans? Really? But stay with me, because what researchers discovered about beans will change how you see this humble legume forever. In the blue zones, those rare pockets of the world where people live the longest, beans aren't just food, they're medicine. The people of Nicoya, Costa Rica eat black beans daily. The Sardinians swear by their fava beans. The Greeks on Ikaria feast on lentils and chickpeas. Here's why beans are longevity gold. They're packed with something called resistant starch. When you eat beans, this starch feeds the good bacteria in your gut, creating a cascade of benefits that ripple through your entire body. Better digestion, stronger immunity, reduced inflammation. But here's the part that will really get your attention. A study following 14,000 people for 19 years found that for every 20 grams of beans consumed daily, the risk of death dropped by 8%. 8% from beans. But there's a secret to eating beans that most people miss, and I'll share that in just a moment. First, let me tell you about the second food. This one might make you smile. It's olive oil. Not just any olive oil, though. I'm talking about real extra virgin olive oil, the kind that burns slightly in the back of your throat when you taste it. That burn, that's the polyphenols. Those are the compounds that are literally slowing down your aging at the cellular level. In Crete, where people have some of the lowest rates of heart disease in the world, the average person consumes a quarter cup of olive oil every single day. A quarter cup. That might sound like a lot, but here's what that olive oil is doing inside your body. Those polyphenols are acting like tiny bodyguards, protecting your cells from damage. They're reducing inflammation in ways that prescription drugs try to mimic. They're keeping your arteries flexible and your brain sharp. There's a study from Spain that followed 7,000 people for 5 years. The group that consumed the most extra virgin olive oil had a 30% lower risk of major cardiovascular events. 30% from olive oil. But here's what most people don't know about olive oil, and this is crucial. Heat destroys those precious polyphenols. The longevity benefits come from using olive oil cold or at very low temperatures. Now, the third food is going to surprise you because it's something your grandmother probably told you was bad for you. Eggs. For decades, we've been told to fear eggs because of cholesterol, but the people living the longest lives on Earth never got that memo. In Okinawa, eggs are a daily staple. In Sardinia, they're considered a gift from the chickens. And science has finally caught up with what centenarians have known all along. Eggs are nearly perfect nutrition. Here's what makes eggs a longevity food. They contain all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to build and repair muscle. After 60, you lose muscle mass faster than you did in your younger years. Eggs help you hold on to that strength. But there's something else in eggs that's even more important for aging well. Choline. Most people have never heard of choline, but it's critical for brain health. It helps your brain make the neurotransmitters that keep your memory sharp and your thinking clear. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people with higher choline intake performed better on memory tests and had larger brain volumes. Larger brain volumes at older ages mean better cognitive function. The secret with eggs? Don't overcook them. Gentle cooking preserves more of the nutrients that make eggs a longevity powerhouse. The fourth food takes us to the sea. Fish. Specifically, small, fatty fish. In every long-lived population, fish plays a starring role. The Japanese eat small fish whole, bones and all. The Greeks feast on sardines and anchovies. The Costa Ricans enjoy their fresh catch from both coasts. But here's why size matters when it comes to fish. Smaller fish contain less mercury and more omega-3 fatty acids per serving. Those omega-3s are doing something remarkable in your body. They're reducing inflammation at the cellular level, protecting your heart, and keeping your brain functioning optimally. There's research showing that people who eat fish twice a week have a 20% lower risk of dying from heart disease. But the benefits go beyond your heart. Omega-3s help maintain the length of your telomeres. Think of telomeres as the plastic tips on shoelaces, but for your chromosomes. Longer telomeres are associated with slower aging and longer life. A fascinating study found that people with the highest levels of omega-3s in their blood had telomeres that were equivalent to being 5 years younger than people with the lowest levels. Sardines, mackerel, anchovies, herring. These small fish are nutritional treasures that have been sustaining long-lived populations for generations. Now, before I reveal the fifth and final food, let me share something personal. My own grandmother lived to 94. She wasn't wealthy. She didn't have access to the latest medical advances. But she had something else. She ate simply, seasonally, and with intention. Every meal was prepared with care, eaten without distraction, and shared when possible. This brings me to the fifth food, and it might be the most important one of all: nuts. In Loma Linda, California, home to one of the world's blue zones, Seventh-day Adventists eat nuts 5 times a week. Their life expectancy is nearly 10 years longer than the average American. Nuts are concentrated nutrition. They're packed with healthy fats, plant protein, fiber, and minerals your body craves as you age. But here's what makes nuts truly special for longevity. They help regulate blood sugar. As we age, our blood sugar control often declines. This leads to inflammation, cellular damage, and accelerated aging. Nuts help keep blood sugar stable, which means less damage to your body over time. A massive study following over 200,000 people found that eating nuts regularly was associated with a 20% reduction in overall mortality. 20%. But there's a particular way to eat nuts that maximizes their benefits, and most people miss this entirely. Eat them whole, not processed. Choose raw or lightly roasted over heavily salted. And here's the key: eat a variety. Each type of nut offers different nutrients. Walnuts for omega-3s, almonds for vitamin E, Brazil nuts for selenium. Now you might be wondering, how do you actually incorporate these 5 foods into your daily life without completely overhauling everything you eat? Here's the beautiful truth. You don't need to eat perfectly, you just need to eat intentionally. Start with one food. Maybe it's adding a small handful of nuts to your morning routine, or drizzling real olive oil over tomorrow's salad, or having eggs twice a week instead of once. The people living the longest lives aren't following complicated meal plans. They're eating these simple, powerful foods consistently, day after day, year after year. And here's what I want you to remember as you make these changes. Every meal is an opportunity to nourish your body, to slow down aging, to add vitality to your years. You have more control over how you age than you might think. These 5 foods, beans, olive oil, eggs, fish, and nuts, they're not just ingredients. They're investments in your future self. The choice is yours. You can continue eating the way you always have, or you can start today with your very next meal, giving your body the foods it needs to thrive for decades to come. Your 90-year-old self is counting on the decisions you make today. What will you choose?